Day one at Mount Maunganui at the Bay Oval. Well, it did not disappoint. I mean, what a day's play we've brought you over the last 8 or 9 hours. The time has flown by. We've had runs, we've had wickets, we've had incident, we've had surprises, and we've just had some great cricket. And that's what this not quite capacity crowd, but a more than healthy one, arrived earlier today to see, and are now walking back in the dark sky. The Mount is no longer visible. It's been ever present throughout the day. It looked like it was going to be covered in cloud at one stage, but we can't see it. We'll have to wait until tomorrow. Myself, John Norman, and alongside me for the next 20 minutes or so, Steve Harmison. We're going to be crossing out to the pitch where Sam Ellard is going to be chatting to a player or two, and Daniel McHardy as well will give us a New Zealand view of what has been England's day. England started it, losing the toss, asked to bat first, went at New Zealand in a manner that we are becoming more than accustomed to. Fine knocks from Duckett and also Brook. And then a surprise declaration. Well, it surprised me, didn't surprise Mike Atherton, who was part of our commentary here on TalkSport 2. 325 for 9, and Ben Stokes said we'll have a bowl because day was turning into night, and he's been vindicated. 37 for 3 New Zealand at stumps, and it could have been more. Conway dropped by Zach Crawley. So, Steve Harmison, what a day. Where do we start? At the beginning?
It's been a great day. Yeah, we start at the beginning. We have to start at the beginning because it was a crucial toss. You're standing on the outfield just before the toss.
I tell you what, I'll stop you there, Harmy. I think we could cross to Sam Ellard, who may well be with Ben Stokes.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. I've got Ben Duckett with me. Ben, 325 for 9 declared, then 37 for 3. How would you sum up that day?
Yeah, I think we're very happy. We knew the conditions tonight under lights were going to suit us with the ball, and that was the reason for the declaration. I think we could have easily had 5 or 6 tonight. But yeah, I mean, stick 2 on that in the morning, and suddenly they're a long way behind the game, and we're in a very good position.
And for you you made 84 quickly. There was even some talk in the press box that you might beat the record and score the fastest Test 100 by an England batsman, which is 76. For you, how did you find conditions out there? And you looked very comfortable very early on.
Yeah, just one of those days where things clicked, and I felt good early on. Got a few nice deliveries up front to get me going. And yeah, it wasn't a plan of mine today to go out and score that quickly. It just kind of happened. I'm quite frustrated. I was quite frustrated earlier that I didn't go on and get a big 100 because it was there for the taking. But yeah, if you'd have offered me 80 at the start, that I'd have taken it.
And in your first Test match outside of Asia, just to come here, get some runs under your belt, that must make you feel very good about your game. Yeah,
it's really nice. Anywhere you go in different conditions, you want to do well, and for me, more importantly, starting a series is so big. I'm not looking for a score in the second innings of the second game, which is quite nice. So, yeah, fingers crossed I can take that forward.
And a word on the bowlers, how good were they under the lights? Jimmy Anderson just being Jimmy Anderson. And what did you make of conditions? How did the pink ball play under the lights?
Yeah, ridiculous, weren't they? As I said, we could have had an easy 5-6 down tonight. Yeah, Jimmy's pretty good, isn't he? I think he's showing at his age where he's still one of the best bowlers in the world. But, yeah, I mean, all of them were superb. And, on another day, we might have gone through them a bit more.
Well played, Ben.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
So that's Sam Ellard, not with Ben Stokes, not with Ben Folkes, but with the other one. Ben, thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam. I've got Ben, he said on his WhatsApp group, but we'll forgive him. He's had a great day. A little shout out to my son Franklin as well, who's just woken up. He's staying at his grandparents'. He's been up since 2 a.m. and he's listening to the show. So he doesn't normally bother with cricket, but big love from us here in New Zealand. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, son. Steve Harmison, he batted beautifully well, didn't he, Ben Duckett? And he was just one of maybe 3 or 4 batters that when he was out, you were more surprised than anything.
Yeah, and he said that he got a few early freebies to get away, and I think he was being generous to the New Zealand bowlers, but you still got to put them away.
I tell you what, I think Sam Ellard's picked up another England player. Let's hear who he is speaking to.
Well, 3 things are guaranteed in life, John: death, taxes, and Harry Brooks scoring runs. Harry, I know it wasn't the 100 that you would have wanted, but just talk me through the day. How did you find it out there? 89, well played, my friend.
Thank you. I'm not sure about that first thing you said, but no, it was Yeah, it was nice to be out there and scoring runs again. It's I've been ready for a couple of weeks now to get back out there, but no, I'm glad I got out there and scored a few.
I spoke to Ben Stokes at the start of the day. I said, what would you have done if you won the toss? He said, Sam, I've got absolutely no idea. The first thing in my mind I would have just done. Did it feel like that at the start of the day? A little bit of green on the wicket, but maybe get through that first session, it would have played nicely. What did you think early on in that first session in particular?
To be honest, I never actually look at the pitches. I don't like to go and I don't like looking at them because I don't want to have preconceived ideas before I go out there. So I just go out when I'm batting. That's the first time I see it. So when I'm marking my mark, but then I just play the way I'm going to play, and obviously you got to adapt to conditions, and I felt like I did that quite well today.
Do you feel a player that is completely in control of things, on top of your game? You've had such a good patch of form since coming into the England team in all three formats. Do you feel every time you go out there that you're about to score runs?
I think you got to have a little bit of confidence about that, to be honest, and I think it's down to preparation as well. I feel like I prepared very well for this series. Obviously working on a few things here and there, but I've tried to nail it as much as possible.
Ben's always said he's going to do things differently. We'll see things we've never seen before. A team declaring on day one 9 down is pretty new, but I guess taking 3 wickets late on under the lights makes that decision one that Ben's got absolutely spot on, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. By the looks of it, I haven't played many pink ball games, but by the looks of it, it's the hardest time to bat when it's under lights, and obviously we had the new ball as well. So I think it was a great declaration, and obviously to get 3 wickets there is vital, and hopefully we can force a few more early tomorrow.
Yeah, and what is the plan going to be early doors tomorrow?
Don't know. It's up to Stokesy.
Yeah. Short and sweet.
That's not my decision. That's not my decision. Yeah.
Harry, well played. We'll see you tomorrow. Back to you, John.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Sam Ellar speaking with not one but 2 half centurions. I'm not sure if that's a term that will ever really stick, but well played to both Harry Brook and Ben Duckett. We sat back and enjoyed today, didn't we, Harmy? And I tell you what, I cannot get away from the fact that in Ben Duckett and Harry Brook, 2 players that weren't anywhere close. Maybe Brook was close, but they weren't in the side this time last year. But already you look at them, they're youngsters. They don't appear to be fazed by anything. And they're just so refreshing in their outlook as well. Whether you're Ben Duckett, who is just loving being part of this setup, or you're Harry Brook, who just literally looks up, thinks, oh, my time to bat, picks up his bat, walks out there and does the do's.
Yeah, and it's a sign of what change has been at the top of English cricket. Rob Key, some people would say I took a punt in and Brendan McCullum, and the positive outcome, the freedom that this group have been given in the captain and the coach moving forward, I think is epitomised by them 2 characters alone. Ben Duckett, you mentioned, 28-year-old, he's had a couple of goes, and he's been basically told you've got freedom to express at the top of the order. And Harry Brook has just walked into cricket and breezed into cricket, whether it be for Yorkshire and then now in from England, and the boy's got so much talent, so simple. And his interview there with Sam's trying to get everything out of him, and do you know what, it's a simple interview, simple answers from a player who plays the game in a simple way. He stands still, his head's unbelievably as still as you'll see anybody in world cricket, and he lets his hands go through the line of the ball as he waits for the ball coming to him. No moving parts, times the ball beautifully, and it was a well constructed innings, putting pressure back onto bowlers. I thought he had to work a little bit harder, because I thought New Zealand got the ball in better areas in that middle part of the day, as opposed to the sort of shambles there were in the first half of getting Ben Duckett to 50. But 2 wonderful constructed innings and put England in a fabulous position in this Test match.
And then when they came out to bowl after that declaration, it just does not get any more difficult. Maybe on a spinning, on a spinning track in the subcontinent, coming up against Ravichandran Ashwin and Axar Patel and the like Ravindra Jadeja. But for the New Zealand batters to come up against Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad and Ollie Robinson with the pink ball under lights, I mean, you almost felt sorry for the New Zealand batters. They were on a hiding to nothing. Yeah,
absolutely. And was it any harder for Australia's batsmen against the Indian bowlers in the first Test match over in India than it was for the likes of Latham, Conway, Williams, and Nichols, and Wagner, who actually probably played as good as anybody as a night watchman. He certainly played better than Henry Nichols. Against, we can't speak any higher than what we always do of Broad, Anderson, and Robinson. But if there was ever a surface and ever a conditions, I know the three of them slagged the pink ball off. But I'll tell you what, for the last hour and a bit, I bet you they were licking their lips to bowl with a pink ball tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, will New Zealand be a little bit shell-shocked by what's happened today? Because actually, it could have gone a lot worse for them with ball in hand. I think England probably gifted them a couple of wickets. England could have been over the hill and far away.
Yeah, but I think New Zealand give England the confidence to give them wickets away, to be honest. You look at the wickets that fell. Crawley looked at all at sea. Probably one of the only ones that looked all at sea. He could have been out 3 times in the 14 balls. Look, I think New Zealand, when they look back at this, I think they're getting off quite lightly because they're bowled poorly. And, you can't sugarcoat it. Take Tim Southey away, who, like Jimmy Anderson, is a perfect exponent. When there's something in the pitch and something in the conditions, he will do that. England tried to put pressure on the New Zealand captain, but the rest just weren't up to it. It wasn't even a club attack for me, and I'm trying to be as polite as I possibly can because 2 lads were on debut, but England were given a lot of freebies, giving them chances to really express themselves, and arguably some of the dismissals were possibly from overconfidence because of how poorly that the New Zealand bowlers played. Joe Root caught reverse sweeping. Court slip, reverse sweeping, and when you watch that again in isolation, there'll be people.
Can I just stop you just 1 second though, because when you say caught reverse sweeping, he wasn't facing a spinner.
No, he was facing Neil Wagner.
I tell you what, let's cross over. Mallard is with Neil Wagner.
Neil, an exciting day. It was always going to be an exciting day, wasn't it? England versus New Zealand. How would you assess what we've seen over the past couple of hours?
Exciting day, mate. Proper test cricket, isn't it? Especially with the way that England play, obviously, at the moment. They're very, very positive and obviously look to score. I don't think we particularly bowled our best. It was quite challenging conditions out there. We thought it might do a little bit more. The wind was quite gusty and sort of dried the wicket out quite quickly. And sort of played in the hands of playing aggressive cricket with the ball getting a bit soft there at the back end. I thought we brought it back quite nicely. And with the way it started, would have given us that title, would have probably taken it.
It felt as if at different points in the day, England were another good half an hour away from maybe just pulling away from you guys. But it felt as if at every moment you picked up a crucial wicket just to sort of rein England back in. Yeah,
definitely. I thought if we could have, gone a little bit bang bang and get 2 or 3 quick wickets, I think it would have swung nicely back into our favour. I think it's still pretty evenly poised. I think they obviously had the best bowling conditions this night when the wind died off, and bowling with pink ball under lights is obviously quite handy. Which no surprise, obviously the way they came and trying to set it up. I think personally for us, if we can build partnerships tomorrow, get ourselves to bowl at night time, then obviously we can have similar favourable conditions.
What's it like for you being a bowler, standing at the top of your mark with ball in hand, playing Test cricket, but knowing that the opposition aren't really playing Test cricket like we know it? There's, we saw the Joe Root reverse scoop, didn't we, which you ended up getting him out. But just give us an insight into what it's like facing this England team when at times they're trying to play the game like T20 cricket.
It is pretty impressive. Obviously, it's a very positive brand of cricket, which is really good. On days it can come off the way it did, and it's good. But other days it could go the other way. And if you keep going that brand of cricket and you play that positive, I think positive thoughts and positive actions, leads to the same thing, innit? So I think it's a quality brand of cricket they're playing. And for us, it's just to think about a way of obviously going up against it. It is exciting. It's an exciting brand of cricket. Hopefully a good spectacle for everyone who's here today watching it, and hopefully it can continue.
2 debutants today for New Zealand with the ball. How do you think they got on?
Yeah, I thought they bowled really well. I thought they kept trying really hard. They ran in with some pace and aggression, and like I said, in some trying circumstances, I think there's not a lot of people who've sort of, experienced bowling at Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. When you're bowling into that breeze, it can be quite hard work. So I thought they did really well.
And tomorrow, I guess, as a bowler, you want your feet up for the whole day. How do you expect the pitch to play tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we'll get a little bit better. The history suggests that. So hopefully, obviously, tomorrow when the sun's out, it'll be nice to bat on. Like I said, if we can capitalise on that and build partnerships and get ourselves into a position that we can explore those conditions at night, will be ideal for us. Obviously, England will obviously try and stop us from doing that. But I think we've got the personnel in the group to be able to do that. So hopefully we can kick on tomorrow.
you think Joe Root will ever try and reverse scoop you again?
I definitely think he will. He's had a bit of success against it, so I sort of laughed when I walked past the field off him and I said, "Oh, you got 2 away on me and I got 1 back." So yeah, you still owe me one. So yeah, no, I definitely think he will.
And do you know what? Knowing Joe, he's probably going to try and do it again at some point, isn't it?
Very true, very true.
Well bowled. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.
Take care. Back to you, John.
That's Sam Ellard with Neil Wagner, who walks off unbeaten with 4 next to his name in the run tally, and also 4 wickets as well. Daniel McHardy has slid in to the seat where Steve Harmison has just exited. We've only got a few moments, Daniel, but your thoughts from a New Zealand perspective. You know, where are they going to be sitting? How are they going to be thinking on this fine evening here at the Mount Maunganui?
A bit of a hiding to nothing, I think the term you used with Harmy, as far as getting through these 18 overs. They'll be frustrated they lost 3. I think they'll be far more comfortable, even if it was just 2. 2 big wickets there in Latham and Williamson, so important. Nichols is a walking wicket at the moment. He really is out of sorts. So I'm not surprised we saw the back of him, unfortunately living up to that nickname Nick and Nichols he does have in these parts. Devon Conway's there. Don't underestimate how good a player Devon Conway is. He is crucial tomorrow. Wagner will come out, throw the bat. Mitchell, we know what he can do. So good against England last year. Those 2 men are the key men on day number 2 for New Zealand. I think they've pulled it back quite nicely. Let's be frank, 279 for the loss of 5 after 48 overs at the dinner break at the end of the second session. With Brook on 79, folks on 27, you're looking at 400 plus and quick order. I thought New Zealand in that 3rd session bowled quite well through the 10-11 overs are out there. They controlled the run rate. They picked up 4 wickets, 4 for 44. That's the one thing the bowlers have to latch on to, John. Prior to that, I'm with Harmy. 3/4 of that attack for the opening 2 sessions looked like a club attack. Tim Southee aside, Tim Southee's figures don't ring true to how he bowled. I thought he was very good. Swung the ball early, bet the outside edge, especially to the right-handers. Neil Wagner bowled a beauty first ball, got Crawley bowled through the gate. It was a no ball, and things just went horribly wrong for him. He bowled a 2-over spell at the top, looked all at sea, number of no balls, and credit to a great warrior in New Zealand cricket. He never gives up in that final session. He sort of atoned for that. But New Zealand was sloppy. Southee aside, there was always going to be some pressure on that green attack, and Tickner, I think, settled into his work and was steady. I think I described him as exactly that prior to it. I don't think he's going to threaten the life of any international batsman. He did a good job as he went on. And Kugelheim is a bit of a wild card, the way he bowls. He bowls short, he tries to bowl fast, and he got better the longer he went. But the way they dried up the runs in that final session, that's the one thing I think they've got to latch onto as far as a bowling attack. But it's all on the shoulders of Conway and Mitchell, especially tomorrow.
Yeah, look, Mitchell and Blundell have both been real problems for England in the past.
Tom was
they?
Excellent too, you're right.
They're batting throughout June. They didn't deserve to be on the losing side at the end of that series. You know, they were phenomenal, but they're going to have to do it again. I suppose Wagner's going to have to come out tomorrow. He's going to have to. I mean, he was saying off air. I'm sure he doesn't mind. He's saying off air. He fancies himself as a batter, doesn't he? And tomorrow, after going through the spell of, he came out with 20 minutes to go tonight. You know, so you know,
he would have been in the ear of the captain and coach, going, don't be shy to send me out with 20 minutes to go.
And he's done it against England before. Christchurch, a few years back, him and Ish Sodhi, they batted out a good session or so.
It's proven to be quite a good decision, because that was a tricky period of play New Zealand had to get through. No batsman wanted to go out with 15 minutes to go in those conditions, with it nibbling around with 2 of the greatest exponents of swing and seam that we've seen in all the years of watching Test match cricket. So, yeah, huge opening hour for New Zealand, because you know Anderson, Broad, Robinson haven't had many miles in those legs. The ball's still reasonably hard. If there is any movement, they'll find a way. It was interesting to hear Neil Wagner saying he expected more movement for longer, and already it's drying out to the surface we do know here at Bay Oval, which is generally a hard slog for the bowlers to pick up wickets. So my overall thoughts from a New Zealand perspective could have been far, far worse the way it was looking after 2 sessions. I think New Zealand, with the ball especially, have given themselves a little bit of breath, but clearly England on top.
Yep, England on top after a day that gave up 12 wickets. England...
one last thing.
Go on.
Can I have a whinge?
Yeah.
The overrate. Embarrassing.
Absolutely.
Utterly embarrassing. 76.2 overs today were bowled. New Zealand 11 overs per hour when they're out there. England, I know it's early in the year innings, and you tend to go a little bit more slow on that first out. You want to make the most of the new ball. Still 12 and a half. It's a bit sloppy from the 2 teams. But other than that, the entertainment they provided was first class.
I imagine if we'd had a full 90. We might get a full 90 tomorrow.
Southey again up to the crease bowls. Crawley edges gone, taking a third slip. The catch held low down by Bracewell. Full straight driven down the ground for 4 by Duckett. Well, my goodness me, he's picking up the length well.
Duckett gets a 4 ball and then pierces the 2 men on the onside who'd crept in for the catch, and all they're going to have to do is trot out and collect it. Nice stroke, good balance, too short, it's pulled away, 4 to square, that should be 4. She picked up the line there very quickly, hit the ball at the top of the bounce, rolled the wrists and finds another boundary.
Not only is that another 4 to the score, it means that Ben Duckett has reached 50 again.
So he set a record today. It's the fastest 50 in a test match in New Zealand by an opening batter.
Action and outs! Blair Tickner picks up his first wicket in international cricket, and absolutely out of nowhere, Ben Duckett has been dismissed. England are sitting pretty at the tea break. 134 for 2 from just 23 overs.
Southey gets the wicket, caught at second slip, trying to drive was Pope. Healthy edge, well taken by Latham Low and to his right. Southey richly deserves that. An attempted reverse lap that is caught by Mitchell at second slip. A quite extraordinary dismissal. And Root looked filthy with himself, and New Zealand go bang bang.
That's Baz ball gone wrong, that one.
That's beautifully played, or was it, by Harry Brook. It's gone over the head or just wide, high and wide of second slip and down to the third man boundary. It's another short one. It's pulled by Stokes straight to mid-wicket, and he's got a maiden wicket, Scott Kugelheim. Short and wide and cut. It's poor delivery, and it got what it deserves. Beautifully put away, I have to say, by Harry Brook. Just sumptuously delayed cut shot behind square for 4.
There's the shot of the day, and if we see a better shot than that this series, then we're going to be in for something really, really special. Harry Brook has just cover driven on the ups, and he's held the pose as well. That is picture perfect.
Brook chopping on to his stumps, and he is dismissed. It was short, and he tried to thunder it. And New Zealand have the danger man. He goes 298 for 6.
Leach has gone on the pull. It's a top edge. It should be caught, and is at the second or third attempt. And I tell you what, have England declared?
I think the message was, we want to bowl tonight. And here comes Jimmy Anderson. First delivery, and it hits the middle of Tom Latham's bat. He nudges it out on the onside.
And England have the breakthrough. Inside edge, ballooning up, and as it Pope under the helmet, comes forward, takes a good catch. Robinson has only taken, 2 balls to get amongst it.
Trapped on the pads is Williamson. Anderson wants that. Well, the cheer will tell you. Kane Williamson has got to go. Jimmy Anderson has struck.
Edge taken. Crawley hangs on this time. He dropped him in the previous over at second slip. He makes no mistake this time. Crawley atones for his error. Anderson gets the wicket. He was denied in his previous over. New Zealand are 31 for 3.